Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Greg back with the Super 6. I know it's been a minute since I made the video. Just want to keep you guys updated on the charger. You know that's always the case. A little bit of time between my videos, but glad to be back, man. Hope you guys are all well. So today is a pretty hard video to make. As you can see, I'm not in the charger. Very, very difficult video to make. But anyway, as you can see, I am in my 4Runner. The charger had been in the shop for a couple of days, and just Tuesday, 3 days ago, got on the interstate, did a hard pull to get out of some traffic and past some other cars, and by the time I got up to my exit, which is about another 2 miles away, I noticed the car was kind of shaking a little bit. So I reached over and turned the stereo down, and I said, that doesn't sound right. So it mimicked the same issue I had before with a fouled coil, ignition coil, and made it to work. I said, well, I'm just trying to make it to work, and I'll take it to fast lane after work that afternoon. And took it to fast lane and dropped it off. They kept it. They've had it since Tuesday, and got the call today that it wasn't a coil. It was something going on with the with blow by pressure going into the cylinder head. It wasn't holding compression. So anyway, to make a long story short, there's some type of crack or something going on with the ring in the cylinder. So basically, the motor is probably done. Hard thing to say. I was just sick, nauseous, all those things when Lucas called me this afternoon and gave me the news on it. I just didn't know what to think, and it's actually the worst case scenario for that car. So it took me a while to gather myself, to really get my thought process back, because everything starts going through your head, when you have a project like this that's been going on for so long, and you put so much into it, time and money into it to make things, nice in the way you want them, and to have the rug kind of snatched out from up under you. But I'm just glad it's this scenario and not like an accident, a terrible accident or something. So I just thank God for that. So I have to remember that it is a machine, and machines break. So that's one thing we have to remember in this game is, they're just machines, they're cars, but it still doesn't make it any any less painful. So I'm gonna have to ponder my next move. The suggestion from Parker and those guys were to take it to the dealership and get a price on a new motor for the car. And I'm very hesitant about going to the dealership. Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry about that. My son's bus was coming, so I had to finish the video, as you can see, several days later. But anyway, going to the dealer, my issue with that is giving them $200 for something that we pretty much already kind of know. So, that option, I just want to just skip. But I just pretty much knew it was a foul coil because it was mimicking the same symptoms when that coil fouled out. And that would have been a very easy fix. And we just kept it moving. So we had already talked about changing them back to the factory coils, because Lucas was running factory coils on his tuned and modified Hellcat, and it was doing fine. So he said he'd always run those coils. So I was going to go back to the original coils, and and kept it moving. So the issue that we have now in the motor Like I said, it suggested that we look into replacing the motor. So there's some options that we're going to need to. I'm going to need to ponder and see which direction we're going to take with the Charger. That first option is replacing the same 3.6 motor with a new one. Putting the supercharger back on. That way, we start from scratch. We have a warranty on it. If the supercharger doesn't void the warranty, but that's one option, is going back with the same platform. Option number 2 is to drop a different motor. Oh, I'm sorry, is to build a motor. We talked about building the motor from, with better internals that be able to handle the boost or even more boost. They're really good at that, building engines. So that was an option. Another option I'm considering is maybe dropping, a higher trim level engine in it. Now, with that, is some of the research I've done, that can be done, but it's really not recommended through the Mopar community. But with the guys that I'm dealing with, it is very much possible. And we've talked about that option. So I'm going to look into that. And then the third option is just trading the car, going ahead and say, hey, this is it with it. Let's get what we can out of it and put that towards a new car or another one with low miles maybe, or maybe even a new one. But with that, my wife and I are going to have to, consider some things. But I think the fun thing to do is to build on it, and hey, let's see where we can go with it. I mean, it's more interesting to keep building on it. And then I know, like I said, I put a lot of money into the car. And with these applications, with these Boosted 6 applications, it's a lot of fun. It's different. And yes, it is risky. Yes, it's risky. I've heard Boosted 3.6 guys say that before. You may have issues, you may not, but it's just the ride. I had a lot of fun with that application, and it was great just being different and still having the same amount of power as some of the other cars out there, some of the V8s. But I think that's a really interesting way to go. But yes, it is risky. But more often than not, you're not going to have any issues. But that's something for another video. But so you guys type down in the comments what you think I should do. I'm really looking at, if I don't go back with the 3.6, I'm either going to considering the higher trim level motor and let them do all the work around it, or we'll be looking at another one. So you guys tell me what you think I should do. I'm interested in your thoughts. I've been asking people that I know, people at work, what should I do? They gave me some really good suggestions. But yeah, man, I love that car. One guy asked me, how much was I married to that car? And I was like, hey, I'm like this. I love it, man. You guys seen all the work I put into that car, the cosmetic mods, the engine, not the engine, the supercharger, everything. I finally got it to where I wanted it. I was going to be done. And that issue happened. It was just sickening. It is one of the worst feelings, man. It probably wouldn't have been so bad if the car was just like still stock. And then of course, the car was up under warranty. It's over 100,000 miles, but you can imagine that feeling. And I was always, when I was driving that car, I was taking care of it, and I wasn't even beating on that car. You saw my other videos where I talked about that. I babied, my Charger, and I didn't drive it hard. So to hear that happen was just crazy. And I kind of always suspected something because there was an odor from the exhaust. There was some black. Beware if you're running this application. Check your what's coming out when you start your car. Check what's coming out of the back. If you're getting some black soot-like residue out your tailpipe, cause with mine in my garage, it was all on the whatever I had behind my car was covered in this black soot. Whenever I would get on it or do a little bit harder acceleration in the car, I would get this odor. Didn't know where it was coming from. I thought it was just from a little bit of the richness from the tune, maybe. Just something just didn't ever seem quite right, but I just kind of thought that, hey, that might be what it is. So that's a sign. Any kind of odor that you might be getting inside the car or outside the car that doesn't seem quite right, make sure you double check that, if you run in this application. So and then also think about getting some type of coverage, if your warranty has run out or if your warranty has been voided or whatever. Think about getting some type of supplemental coverage, because I had always pondered on doing that but never took the time to go ahead and do it. So that's a good idea. But hey, things happen. Like I said, it's a machine. Machines break down. It's the fun that we have with it. Of course, my wife is not happy with the money that went into it, but she's all right. We've talked about it. We're just gonna move on. So yeah, guys. So let me know what you think. Please, please, please. I want to consider your thoughts and your comments. And we're gonna move on, man. We're gonna keep having fun. Super 6 channel is just gonna keep going no matter what we have. So I think that's it. The car. I took the car back home. I went and picked it up from Fastlane, and from my house, or from my job to Fastlane, well, from Fastlane to my house was about maybe 22 miles, which is not very far. So I had a friend of mine from work take me to Fastlane, which was only like maybe 10 miles. And the car was drivable. I was able to drive it home. It was smoking a lot. Only when maybe I stopped, maybe like in traffic, and then started back. It was smoking something crazy. Yeah, so something's definitely wrong. But it drove okay. But it's not something that it's not something I'm going to drive until we fix the issue or we do something else. But it's home in the garage, and walking by it is sickening. Looking at it sitting there, I want to drive it so bad. People have been asking me where my charger is, because they enjoy seeing it so much and talking about it. And these things happen. It's just a car. We're gonna keep it moving, man. We're gonna keep it moving. Whatever I decide to do. Hey, it's a car. So I'm feeling better. I'm getting a little bit anxious and a little bit more excited about what's to come. That's the silver lining in it. So yeah. So the car is at home, and I'm driving my 4Runner. This is very reliable. I love driving this car. Not as much as the Charger, but hey, I'm all right. So, hey, man, I hope everybody is doing well. All this craziness going on. I hope you guys are staying safe and looking out for each other and spreading some love. With all this craziness going on, man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. We're going to be back, and I will keep you guys updated. All right, guys. Take care, and I will get at you later. Peace.